The Phantom Echo. The Galactic Concordat had maintained peace across 12,000 star systems for over 7 millennia. Comprised of 37 sentient species, the Concordat was a marvel of cooperation and stability. Their technological progress followed careful, regulated pathways designed to prevent catastrophic advancements that might threaten their carefully crafted harmony. Among the countless stars under Concordat rule, no system was more strictly quarantined than the one once called Sol. According to official records, it had been the birthplace of a dangerously unpredictable species, humans who had achieved interstellar travel at an unprecedented pace and threatened galactic stability before their abrupt and total extinction. The archives classified humans as a failed evolutionary branch, a cautionary tale of unbridled technological acceleration. Their home system remained forbidden, surrounded by automated warning beacons and defense platforms, ostensibly to contain lingering biohazards and unstable weapons technology. Approaching Sol Quarantine Perimeter, announced the navigation system of the research vessel Empirical Query. Warning: entry prohibited by Concordat Decree 7289A. Chief Cynoarchaeologist Lyra Voss sighed, brushing aside a lock of her iridescent Althian hair. As a member of a species known for methodical research and emotional detachment, she had built her reputation on rigorous adherence to protocol. Until now. Override using authorization code VOS Theta 927, she replied, her four-fingered hands dancing across the console. Configure sensors for deep spectrum analysis. The small vessel trembled slightly as it crossed the invisible boundary that had remained undisturbed for millennia. Lyra had risked everything for this unauthorized expedition. 3 months ago, a routine calibration of the Concordat's deep space monitoring network had detected something impossible. A signal emanating from the dead system. Signal confirmed, said Empirical Query's AI. Pattern matches the anomaly detected by node 87C signal strength, increasing at a rate of 0.37% per standard day. The Concordat Council had immediately classified the discovery. When Lyra had raised questions about the signal's nature, she'd been reassigned to a research outpost in the Galactic Rim. That action alone told her the Council was hiding something significant. Isolate the signal. What's the source? Lyra asked, her normally even voice betraying a hint of excitement. Source located in debris field formerly designated Earth, specifically a fragment approximately 20 kilometers in diameter. Earth, the human homeworld. According to historical records, it had been rendered uninhabitable during the Concordat's containment action against humanity. The euphemism made Lyra's skin ripple with discomfort. As Empirical Query navigated the debris field, Lyra's sensors detected something remarkable. The asteroid fragments weren't random. They exhibited microscopic traces of artificial manipulation, as though they had been deliberately arranged. These aren't natural formations, she murmured. Computer, analyze composition of the 20-kilometer fragment. Outer layer, standard silicate rock consistent with terrestrial planetary crust. Interior, detecting artificial structures and energy signatures inconsistent with known technology. Lyra's breathing quickened. Take us in. Establish orbit around the fragment. After securing the ship in a stable orbit, Lyra donned her environmental suit and prepared the landing shuttle. The Concordat had always maintained that humanity's technology had been primitive, dangerous but unsophisticated. Yet the readings from this fragment suggested otherwise. The shuttle landed in a vast crater. Lyra stepped onto the surface, her suit compensating for the minimal gravity. The barren landscape revealed nothing unusual until her scanners detected a faint energy signature beneath the surface. Locating entrance point, she whispered to herself, following the scanner readings to a narrow fissure barely visible among the dust and rock. The descent through twisted passages took nearly 3 hours. As Lyra squeezed through the final narrow tunnel, she emerged into something that defied all Concordat records about human capabilities. A vast chamber stretched before her, its walls lined with technology that still functioned after thousands of years. Pale blue light pulsed through circuit-like patterns that covered every surface. In the center stood a pedestal emitting the signal that had drawn her across forbidden space. Lyra approached cautiously, her scanner struggling to interpret the technology. The pedestal displayed symbols in an ancient human language. Her translator worked through the patterns before providing a result. Lazarus Protocol. Activation Phase 3 of 7. Below this message, a countdown timer showed what appeared to be approximately 14 standard days remaining. Computer. Lyra whispered to her suit's eye, "Record everything and begin full analysis." As she circled the pedestal, she noticed something else, what appeared to be a dormant interface. Against all scientific protocol, Lyra removed her glove and placed her hand on the smooth surface. The chamber came alive. The blue light intensified, and a holographic projection materialized above the pedestal. A human figure, female according to her xenobiology training, dressed in what appeared to be a military uniform. "Identity verification initiated," said the figure in perfect modern Concordat standard language. "Non-human entity detected. Secondary protocols engage. State your intent." Lyra froze. "I am Sinorchaeologist Lyra Voss of the Althean Consortium, researching the origin of a signal detected by Concordat monitoring systems." The hologram studied her with an unsettling intensity. "Your civilization calls itself the Concordat now. Interesting evolutionary development from the assembly." "You know of the Concordat?" Lyra asked, stunned. "We know everything about the civilization that attempted to eradicate us," replied the hologram. "I am Admiral Helena Chen, commander of the 7th Fleet of the Human Alliance, or rather, a quantum consciousness imprint preserved to guide the Lazarus Protocol. But humans were extinct. Is that what your history teaches?" The hologram smiled. "History is written by the victors, or in this case, by those who believed they were victorious." The revelation struck Lyra like a physical blow. The quarantine of this system was never about containment. Admiral Chen's hologram finished. It was about concealment, about hiding the truth that your Concordat, or the Assembly as it was known then, failed in its primary objective, which was the complete eradication of humanity. The chamber hummed with increased energy. Displays around the walls activated, showing star maps, technological schematics, and what appeared to be fleet movements across vast interstellar distances. "The signal you detected was never meant for your kind to find," continued Chen. "It's a recall signal, activated when our dormant monitoring systems detected that the Concordat's vigilance had finally begun to wane. After 7,000 years of waiting, the time has come." "Time for what?" Lyra asked, though she feared she already knew the answer. "For humanity to return." The hologram's expression hardened. "The question is, Sinorchaeologist Lyra Voss, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you warn your Concordat that their foundational lie is about to be exposed? Or will you bear witness to the reunion they tried so hard to prevent?" Before Lyra could respond, her ship's eye broke through on her communication system. "Warning, multiple Concordat vessels entering the system. Military signatures detected. They appear to be converging on our position." The hologram of Admiral Chen smiled. "It seems your unauthorized expedition has been noticed. You have a choice to make, and quickly." Lyra looked at the countdown timer, then back at the hologram. "Tell me everything. I need to understand." "Understanding requires acceptance of a difficult truth," said Chen. "That your civilization is built upon genocide, or rather, attempted genocide. Are you prepared for that?" The chamber trembled slightly as something massive shifted within the asteroid fragment. The signal's pulse quickened, and Lyra realized with sudden clarity that she stood at the precipice of history, the moment when everything the Concordat believed about itself would change forever. "I am prepared," Lyra said finally. "Show me the truth." The awakening. The hologram of Admiral Chen gestured, and the chamber transformed around Lyra. Three-dimensional images of Earth as it once was. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds, gave way to scenes of devastation as Concordat, then assembly, warships bombarded the planet from orbit. When we realized the assembly would never accept our technological advancement, we implemented the Lazarus Protocol, Chen explained. While the assembly believed they were witnessing our extinction, we deployed quantum-masked arcs beyond the reach of their sensors. Thousands of ships carrying millions of humans disappeared into uncharted space. But the historical records claim humans were dangerously unstable, Lyra protested. We advanced too quickly for the assembly's comfort, Chen corrected. Our neural interfaces, quantum computing, and propulsion systems leaped beyond approved development paths. We questioned why certain technologies were restricted. For a system built on controlled evolution, questions are dangerous. The hologram changed to show vast ships traveling through unknown regions of space. We've spent 7 millennia building, evolving, and waiting. The humans who return won't be the same ones who fled. We've become something new, guided by the lessons of our near extinction. Lyra's communication system buzzed urgently. Concordat vessels deploying landing craft. Estimated arrival at your location in 17 minutes. I don't understand, Lyra said. If humans survived, why wait millennia to return? Time works differently when you're rebuilding a civilization in secret, Chen replied. We needed to ensure our return wouldn't result in another extermination attempt. We've established colonies in regions the Concordat hasn't mapped, developed technologies that operate on principles your scientists haven't discovered. The ground beneath them shuddered more violently. What's happening? Lyra asked. This asteroid isn't merely a beacon, Chen explained. It's a node in our communication network and a gateway. Around them, the chamber began to reconfigure. Walls shifted, revealing deeper chambers and massive machinery stirring to life. Your Concordat forces will find nothing when they arrive, Chen said. This node has served its purpose. The signal has been received by our outposts. The human fleet is already mobilizing. There will be conflict, Lyra said, imagining the chaos that would engulf the Concordat. Not necessarily, Chen countered. We don't seek revenge. We seek recognition and the right to exist without constraints imposed by others. 7,000 years has granted us perspective. Lyra's scanner suddenly detected massive energy fluctuations throughout the asteroid. This entire structure is activating. It's time for you to leave, Synorchaeologist Voss, Chen said. Your vessel can outrun the Concordat ships if you depart now. You've been given a choice that few in your civilization will have, to prepare for our return with knowledge rather than fear. Why trust me with this? Lyra asked. Because you questioned. Because you sought truth despite prohibition. Individuals like you give us hope that coexistence is possible. Lyra made her decision. She raced back through the tunnels, reaching her shuttle just as the asteroid's surface began to crack and reshape itself. As she piloted back to Empirical Query, she witnessed something extraordinary. The entire debris field was coming alive, fragments reconnecting and restructuring. From her ship's orbit, the view was breathtaking. What had appeared to be random asteroid fragments were assembling into massive structures. The 20-kilometer fragment that had housed the signal node was transforming into what could only be described as a stargate of some kind, its center beginning to shimmer with energy. Multiple unidentified vessels approaching, warned her ship's eye. Configuration unknown. Technology signature does not match Concordat database. On her view screen, Lyra watched as sleek ships emerged from what appeared to be fold points in space. Technology theoretically impossible according to Concordat science. The ships were beautiful, organic in design yet clearly artificial, their hulls shifting and adapting like living tissue. Incoming transmission, announced the AI. The face that appeared on Lyra's screen was recognizably human but subtly different from the historical records, more refined, with eyes that seemed to perceive beyond normal spectrum. Synorchaeologist Lyra Voss, said the human. I am Admiral Ilara Chen, descendant of Helena Chen and commander of the homecoming fleet. Your presence here was unexpected but not unwelcome. The Concordat ships, Lyra began, will not be harmed unless they initiate hostilities, Ilara assured her. Our first priority is establishing the gateway for the arrival of our main fleet. In the distance, Lyra could see the Concordat vessels slowing their approach, clearly confused by the unfolding situation that contradicted everything in their tactical databases. What happens now? Lyra asked. Now, you have a choice, Ilara replied. You can return to your Concordat with knowledge that will help them navigate this transition without unnecessary conflict, or you can remain and witness the reunion firsthand. Before Lyra could answer, a new signal cut through all communications, a broadcast transmitting simultaneously across every frequency and quantum channel, reaching every Concordat world instantaneously. The message was simple. To the Galactic Concordat, we are humanity. We have returned. We come in peace, but we will not be denied our place among the stars again. We seek dialogue, not domination. The lies of history end today. Accompanying the message were data packets containing historical records, scientific advancements, and proposals for peaceful integration. It was not the return of conquerors, but of a civilization announcing its right to exist. On Concordat Prime, the ruling council gathered in emergency session as reports flooded in of massive human fleets appearing near former Earth space. Ancient defense systems, long forgotten, were powering down rather than firing, seemingly responding to override codes no one knew existed. Back in the Sol system, Lyra watched as the transformed asteroid completed its metamorphosis into a massive portal. Through its shimmering center came ships beyond counting, not warships, but vessels carrying the full spectrum of human civilization. Colony ships, research vessels, diplomatic craft, a civilization returning home. Your Concordat faces a choice, Admiral Ilara told Lyra. Accept that their foundation myth of human extinction was a lie, or cling to it and face a truth they cannot defeat. We've had 7 millennia to prepare for this day. They've had mere hours. The Concordat vessels had formed a defensive perimeter, weapons powered but not firing. Their commanders were clearly awaiting instructions from a leadership thrown into chaos by revelations that undermined their civilization's core beliefs. There's something you should know, Lyra said finally. The Concordat isn't the assembly that tried to destroy humanity. We've evolved too. Many species have joined since then. Our foundational principles have shifted toward cooperation rather than control. Then perhaps there's hope, Ilara replied. Time changes all things, even ancient enemies. As Lyra's ship drifted between the two fleets, human and Concordat, she realized she was witnessing more than the return of a lost species. She was witnessing the beginning of a new galactic order, one where the carefully maintained narratives of the past would give way to a more complex, challenging future. I've made my decision, Lyra told Admiral Ilara. I'll return to the Concordat, not as a messenger of fear, but as a bridge between our civilizations. Your people have had 7,000 years to prepare for this moment. My people deserve a chance to adapt. The human admiral nodded. Then go with our blessing, Synorchaeologist Voss. The human phrase for what you undertake is olive branch, a symbol of peace from ancient Earth. May your Concordat have the wisdom to recognize it. As Empirical Query charted a course back to Concordat space, Lyra took one last look at the transformed Sol system. Where once had been only ruins and carefully maintained quarantine beacons, now shone the lights of thousands of ships, humanity returning to reclaim their origin point among the stars. The signal that had drawn her here had served its purpose. After 7 millennia of silence, humanity's echo had become a chorus that would reshape the galaxy forever.